I was halfway through my burger when my mom raised her wine glass and said, "Let's all toast to Jake. He just bought a cabin." That was it. That's how my big moment landed. Right between a bite of potato salad and the neighbor's dog taking a dump by the grill. I'm Jake. I'm 32, live in Oak Ridge, Tennessee, and after saving for nearly a decade, I finally bought a tiny cabin 2 hours out, deep in the hills. Off-grid, quiet, mine. No Wi-Fi, no roommates, no crap. Just space. Before we start, how's your day going and where are you joining from? Anyway, as soon as my mom said it, the whole backyard clapped like we were at a graduation. My cousins hollered. My aunt snapped a photo, and my mom beamed like she'd won something herself. I gave a little wave, kind of embarrassed, but I couldn't help grinning. I'd earned it. Every dollar, every sacrifice. That place was my reset button. Then Tyler showed up. He strolled through the side gate like he owned the place, arms slung around Kenzie's shoulder. She had on a crop top that said Content Queen, and he was already filming something on his phone, narrating like this was his vlog, not our mom's backyard. "Guess we made it just in time for the toast," he said. Tyler's 6 years younger than me, all charm and noise. He runs some popular vlog channel, travel, pranks, nonsense, and Kenzie is his girlfriend/manager/editor. Their whole life is a moving circus. I tried to nod politely, but they didn't even sit down before my mom waved them over. "Tyler, did you hear about the cabin? Your brother's going full mountain man." Kenzie laughed, pulling off her sunglasses. "Ooh, we'll need the main bedroom upgraded when we move in." I looked up. "What?" Tyler clapped me on the back. "You know, man, we'll be out there full-time soon. Fresh air content. Right, babe?" Kenzie winked. "Cabin vlog season." I wiped my hands on a napkin. "It's not a group project. I'm not having roommates." The table went quiet. My cousin froze mid-bite. Mom's smile twitched. Kenzie gave a tight little laugh and sipped her drink. "Well, boundaries. Love that." Tyler mumbled something about "just kidding." But the vibe had already shifted. I stood up to grab another beer from the cooler, letting the silence do its thing. That was the first crack. They didn't hear no. They heard not yet. Later that night, I was halfway through cleaning out my truck when my phone rang. It was Mom, her name flashing with that urgent ringtone I'd set during her surgery last year. "Jake," she said, voice tight. "Panicked? I think Tyler's doing something stupid." My stomach dropped. "What kind of stupid?" "He's live. Like, live, with your papers. From the folder. The one with the cabin stuff." I didn't even hang up. I just tapped open the streaming app. There he was, front and center in my mom's living room, feet up on the coffee table, grinning like a game show host. "Yo, check this out, y'all," he said, waving a piece of printer paper like it was a prize. "My brother's got a whole military-style budget plan for the woods. Look at this. Dude actually budgeted $0 for furniture." Kenzie popped into frame, holding up a highlighted spreadsheet. "He listed a hammer as an optional purchase." "Who is this man?" Tyler leaned in like he was letting the audience in on a secret. "Apparently if you sit on a paint bucket and meditate, that counts as a chair." They both laughed. My jaw clenched. I recognized the spreadsheet instantly. It was the one I'd printed at Mom's kitchen table a few days back. 3 pages breaking down every cabin cost. Land, materials, utilities, emergency fund. Every line item had taken me years to build up to. Now it was content. Okay, Tyler said, waving the paper like it was a prop. "Let's talk priorities. Dude spent $1,500 on a water filtration system but can't throw in $50 for a coffee table?" Kenzie giggled. "It's giving prepper chic. But don't worry, once we move in, we're redoing the whole kitchen. Cabin core vibes only." The chat blew up with laughing emojis, kitchen reno suggestions, fans voting on backsplash colors. I stared at the screen, breathing slow. My heart wasn't racing. I wasn't boiling over. Felt weirdly flat. I'd left that folder in the dining room. After the barbecue, Mom wanted to see the breakdown, so I walked her through it while she made banana bread. She must have forgotten to put it away. But Tyler didn't forget. He found it. and he chose to go live. I watched him twirl a Sharpie in his hand like he was some talk show expert. Now look at this part. He actually wrote projected burn rate like he's running NASA. Bro, it's a cabin. You're not launching a satellite. Just get a grill and call it a day. Kenzie leaned on his shoulder. Aw, don't bully him. He's a spreadsheet guy. It's cute. Nerdy chic. Yeah, Tyler said, glancing at the screen. But like, who even budgets for silence? They both cracked up again. I closed the app. I didn't call, didn't text. I just sat in the garage, hands dirty, phone face down, listening to the cicadas scream outside. They just humiliated me in front of an audience of thousands. And the worst part? They thought it was funny. Not a one-time accident. Not a misunderstanding. This was who they were. I remembered the day Tyler first picked up a camera. He begged me to buy him a cheap one off Craigslist. I paid cash. He said he'd pay me back once his channel took off. Never did. Back then, I thought I was helping, supporting his dream. I didn't know it would end with him dragging me for clicks. I wiped my hands on a towel, walked back into the house, and poured a glass of water. The folder was probably still at Mom's. I didn't even care anymore. I didn't sleep that night, not because I was mad, but because I couldn't stop playing it back. The way they laughed. The way Kenzie tossed my planning around like it was a joke. Like I was a joke. But I wasn't. I was the reason the damn cabin existed. They hadn't lifted a finger. They hadn't contributed a dime. And yet, somehow, they already saw it as theirs. That was the night it finally clicked. This wasn't about family. It wasn't about helping each other or sharing space or whatever fake line they'd throw next. It was about content, views, control. I'd been quiet for too long, always giving the benefit of the doubt. Always assuming they'd grow up or apologize or see how hard I'd worked. But this wasn't a one-off. This was the pattern. And I was done pretending it wasn't. I didn't tell anyone what I saw that night. I didn't go nuclear. I didn't confront him or post some angry response. I just sat with it, because I already knew how it would go. Tyler would say it was just a joke. Kenzie would say it boosted engagement. Mom would say, "He's your brother? Jake, can't you just talk to him?" I'd been talking to him since I was 10. That's how old I was when I started cooking dinner. Dad had walked out a year before, and Mom was doing double shifts at the dental office just to keep us fed. Tyler was still in elementary school. I'd make boxed mac and cheese, heat up frozen peas, pack both our lunches. Every night I'd lay his clothes out for school, make sure his backpack was ready. I didn't complain. It just became my job. Then the camera phase hit. Tyler was 16 when he started filming. I was 22, working 2 jobs and trying to scrape through community college. He begged me for the second-hand Canon off Craigslist. Said he had a vision and needed real gear. I gave him the $140. He never paid me back. I watched that camera turn into ring lights, wireless mics, brand deals, and some stupid content compound idea that never happened. And through it all, he leaned on me. For rides, for rent, for emotional support, whatever that meant that week. There was this one video, maybe 4 years ago, called How My Brother Lives Like It's 1943. He didn't ask. Just filmed me while I was meal prepping on Sunday trying to save money. Called me a saving samurai, and did this dumb voiceover pretending I was some doomsday prepper who budgeted toilet paper down to the square. His fans loved it. Thought it was hilarious. I was humiliated. I asked him to take it down. He said, "Dude, it's already viral. Just lean into it." Same with the posts. He'd snap pictures of my fridge or the inside of my truck and post them with captions like, "Big Brother Minimalist Energy." I never gave him permission. He never asked. Then there was the apartment. 2 years ago, he and Kenzie were between places and asked to crash for a weekend. I had a 1-bedroom in Knoxville, nothing fancy, but I figured, fine, I'll help. They stayed for 7 weeks. They took over the couch, the kitchen, the Wi-Fi. Tyler left his camera gear spread across the floor. Kenzie turned the bathroom into a Sephora crime scene. They left dishes in the sink, used my groceries without asking. And the only time they offered anything was when Tyler handed me a coupon for a free smoothie and said, "We good." I finally sat them down and said, "Look, I need help with the bills. You've been here almost 2 months." Kenzie blinked at me like I'd insulted her. "We're guests, not tenants." Tyler leaned back like he was on a podcast. "You're really nickel-and-diming your own family?" I asked them to leave the next day. Tyler didn't speak to me for 3 weeks after that. Mom called me harsh, but I wasn't being harsh. I was holding a line. I've always needed structure. Not because I'm cold or selfish or some budget freak, but because numbers are the only thing that makes life make sense. When everything around me spirals, when people lie, ghost you, move in without asking, or spend your money like it's theirs, numbers are the one thing I can control. I know what's in my account. I know how long it'll last. I know if the heater breaks, I can cover it. That kind of safety doesn't fall from the sky. You build it, slowly, brick by boring brick. That's what the cabin was for me. It wasn't about escaping people. It was about building something no one else could shake loose. Tyler doesn't get that. He's never had to. He lives in the moment, filming everything, spinning every little disaster into clips. If he screws up, someone will spot him. If he needs something, someone will loan it. Probably me. I used to believe helping him made me a good brother. Now I see it just made me a resource. And the minute I said no, he turned me into content again. Not a brother. A storyline. A joke with a spreadsheet. 3 days passed and I didn't say a word. No text. No call. Nothing on social. I went dark on purpose. I knew Tyler saw it. He always tracked who watched his stories. He lived in the comments, fed off engagement like it was oxygen. So when I didn't react, I figured maybe, just maybe, he'd back off. He didn't. Instead, I got a text at midnight. "Tyler, what are the room options at the cabin?" I stared at it for a full minute, thinking maybe I missed a setup. Maybe it was a joke, a test. But no. "Tyler, serious question. Our lease ends in 2 weeks. We could save over $2,000 a month. You'd barely notice us. Plus, it'd be amazing for the channel. Nature content. Totally wholesome vibes." I read it again, slower this time. My mouth tasted like metal. Not even an apology. Just business. Strategy. Like I was Airbnb my dream to help his brand pivot. I hit call. He picked up immediately. "Yo, I was just about to. Take the video down." Pause. Then he laughed. "You can't delete a live stream, bro. That's not how it works. It's authentic, bro. You know my fans live for that real stuff. That real stuff was my private finances. You had no right." "Oh my God. Are you still stuck on that?" "It was a bit. We didn't leak your social or anything. People post worse stuff about themselves on purpose." "I'm not people. I'm your brother." Silence on the line. Then, "Look, you're making this way bigger than it is. We're offering to help. Think about it, we move in, cover the basics, make some content, you get exposure, we get a roof, win-win. You're not moving in." Another pause. Then his voice dropped. "Dude, why are you being so controlling? It's not like we're strangers." I kept my tone level. "You used my personal files without asking. You trashed my last place. You laughed when I said no." Kenzie's voice came through on speaker. "God, he's hoarding a whole house like it's gold bars. It's not that deep. It's a freaking cabin." I almost hung up, but I didn't. Not yet. I'm not your landlord. I'm not your co-star. I'm not your free content. Tyler snorted. "So what, you'd rather sit out there alone? Like a hermit? You can't even afford a damn couch." I didn't answer. He was baiting me. He always did this. Push until I snapped, then play victim. Like I was the problem for reacting. But I wasn't reacting this time. I was done reacting. "You made your choice," I said. "Now here's mine. You're not living with me. Period." He didn't reply. I heard Kenzie whisper something in the background. Something sharp and fast. Then the line went dead. I stood in my kitchen, the fridge humming beside me, and for the first time in a long time, I felt clear. He wasn't confused. He wasn't clueless. He just didn't care. And nothing short of a brick wall would make him stop. No more maybes. No more "we'll see." This wasn't about punishing him. It was about protecting me. The next day, I called Mom and said, I need everyone at your house. Tonight, no cameras, no distractions, just us. She sighed into the phone. Can we please not fight? I'll cook. That usually helps. It's not a fight, I said. It's a line. She didn't ask questions. Just said, 6 o'clock. I showed up 10 minutes early with a manila folder tucked under my arm and a headache pulsing behind my eyes. The smell of baked ziti hit me as soon as I stepped inside. Garlic bread in the oven. Soft music playing. She was trying. Tyler and Kenzie walked in 10 minutes late, as always. He was wearing a hoodie with his channel logo. She was already filming B-roll on her phone, panning across the table. I didn't even sit. I slapped the folder down on the dining table. Kenzie lowered her phone. What's this? Paper, I said. Since talking doesn't work. Tyler plopped into a chair, grabbed a breadstick, and said, Wow, dramatic. I opened the folder and laid out 3 documents. One was a cease and desist draft. Template language, nothing official yet. The second was a guest policy I typed myself. My house, my rules, no exceptions. The third was a full financial breakdown. Every cent I'd saved, how far it could stretch, and why no one else's name would ever be on that property. I'm done asking nicely, I said. No more public posts about me. No more using my life for content. No moving into the cabin. No, we thought it'd be cool videos. This ends now. Tyler leaned back and scoffed. Jesus, Jake. You act like we broke into your bank account. You did. On stream. Kenzie laughed like I told a joke. It was literally just engagement. That video boosted your name more than any ad could. That video humiliated me. Mom hovered by the kitchen island, eyes darting between us. She was holding a spatula like a peace treaty. Tyler picked up the cease and desist draft and read it out loud in a mocking tone. Cease and desist from further unauthorized use of personal likeness or data. Are you serious with this lawyer cosplay? Yes, I said. Because you don't listen unless there's paperwork. He raised his eyebrows. Wow, you're really lawyering up on your own brother over some live stream jokes. No, I'm protecting myself. From you. Kenzie crossed her arms. It's a cabin, Jake, not a national secret. You're acting like it's Area 51. I looked straight at her. This is what boundaries look like when people don't respect words. Tyler snorted. So what now? You gonna sue us for posting a porch selfie? If it's on my porch and it's being monetized without my permission? Yeah. Try me. Mom finally stepped in. Okay, enough. Let's just sit. Eat. Talk like a family. I didn't move. There's nothing to talk about. I'm not here to negotiate. I'm here to end the confusion. Kenzie flipped the guest policy over. So if we visit, we have to sign in like hotel guests? No filming, no overnights, no drop-ins, no business. That's the policy. You're out of your mind, Tyler muttered. No, I said. I'm just done being useful to people who don't respect me. For a moment, nobody spoke. Even the music felt like it had backed off. Then Mom said softly, Jake, you've always been the stable one. But this feels cold. I turned to her. It's not cold. It's clear. Tyler pushed back his chair like he was ready to storm out, but Kenzie stopped him. Wait, she said, locking eyes with me. So that's it? You're cutting us off because we filmed a spreadsheet. This isn't about a spreadsheet. It's about the fact that you always think my life is your backup plan. She opened her mouth, but I raised a hand. This is my life now. My space. My rules. You don't get to trash my boundaries just because you're used to me not having any. Tyler rolled his eyes and stood up. Whatever, man. Keep your stupid cabin. We'll figure it out without you. You should. Kenzie looked at me one last time, expression unreadable. Then she followed him out. Mom didn't say anything. She just stood there with a plate in her hands. The ziti going cold. The house suddenly too quiet. I picked up the documents, slid them back into the folder, and left the food untouched. I'd barely made it to my truck when my phone rang. Tyler. Of course. I hit decline. He called again. Then again. On the fourth try, I picked up. What? I said no hello. He didn't waste time. You're a bitter control freak. That's what this is. You think just because you signed some mortgage, you're better than the rest of us. I rested my head against the steering wheel. You done? No. I'm just getting started. You've always had this complex, like being quiet makes you deep or some crap. You were never better than me. You were just boring. Okay. And now you think you get to gatekeep peace and quiet in the woods like it's some God-given reward? I let the silence hang a second. Then I said it calm and sharp. I worked. You filmed. That doesn't mean I owe you rent in the woods. He scoffed. Wow. You've really changed. No. I've just stopped pretending you'll ever respect boundaries unless I draw them in permanent ink. He went quiet. Then I kept going. You want options? Fine. Rent a studio. Look at short-term housing programs. You've got a huge following, monetize better. Sell merch. Hustle like the rest of us. You think I haven't tried? He snapped. Kenzie's voice came in, faint but pissed. We're done begging. That flipped a switch in me. You were never asking, I said. You were planning without asking. Tyler blew out a breath like he was about to explode. You don't even get it, do you? That cabin could have been ours. Content, retreats, a new season. We had vision. No, I said. You had entitlement. He didn't like that. I could hear the tension break through the line like static. You're gonna regret this, he muttered. Then he hung up. I sat there for a second, staring at the dashboard, my jaw tight. Then I went back inside. Mom was still in the kitchen, staring into the open oven like she forgot what she'd put in there. Did they call you already? She asked without turning around. I nodded. Yeah. She pulled out the garlic bread and set it on the stovetop, hands shaking just enough to notice. You sure this is the road you want to go down? I didn't choose it, Mom. I just stopped lying about where it leads. She wiped her hands on a dish towel. He's still your brother. And I still love him, I said. But love doesn't mean I have to let him bulldoze my life. She looked up at me then, tired eyes and all. You were always the fixer, Jake. Not anymore. She nodded slowly, like she finally saw it for what it was. Not a phase. Not a squabble. A boundary. I walked over to the table and picked up the untouched guest policy. You can still visit, you know, when you want. When it's just you. Her mouth twitched. No forms to sign? I cracked the smallest smile. You're the exception. That got a tiny laugh out of her. She leaned against the counter and looked out the window, like maybe she could already picture the cabin. Maybe she finally believed it was real. That I wasn't just playing house, I was building one. The room felt heavy, but also clearer than it had in years. No shouting. No chaos. Just quiet, thick with change. Tyler would spin this. Kenzie would make it sound like betrayal. That was fine. Let them talk. I wasn't moving backward for anyone. The line was drawn. And this time it wasn't moving. 2 days later, I packed up what little I had and drove out to the cabin. No fanfare. No moving day vlog. Just me. A used pickup, a mattress in the back, and a cardboard box labeled kitchenish. The gravel driveway was still half mud, and the inside smelled like sawdust and cold drywall. There wasn't even a table yet, just an old paint bucket I'd brought for touch-ups. I sat on it that night, eating chicken lo mein straight from the carton, legs sore, light buzzing overhead. It was perfect. I snapped a photo of my dining room. Bucket, box of fortune cookies, the carton balanced on my knee, and texted it to Mom. She replied with a string of emojis. House takeout box red heart and then virtual hug. It's real now. Yeah. It was. That piece lasted 48 hours. Then Tyler struck back. First with a short video titled, Cabin Redesign Time. He stood in a staged shed, pretending it was my place, dragging in fake moss and broken twigs, saying things like, Jake's aesthetic is Depression-era cryptid meets storage unit. Kenzie filmed the whole thing, laughing off camera. The next video was worse. Just him standing outside some random log cabin, asking his audience, "Should I move in anyway? He won't mind, right?" The caption read, #CabinLife, #BigBrotherEnergy, #might do it anyway. He thought it was hilarious. His fans piled on, memes, jokes, even one guy offering to squat with him. I didn't respond. I filed a privacy complaint instead. Flagged the live stream where he leaked my budget and submitted a takedown. Attached screenshots, timestamps, even pulled the copy of my spreadsheet to prove what was mine. A week later, the platform pulled it. Full removal. Strike on his channel. Then came the call. "Are you serious right now?" He snapped as soon as I answered. "You're reporting me to platforms now? What is wrong with you? You crossed the line," I said. "Bull. You don't own your name. You don't own being a brother. People talk about their families all the time. Not with stolen documents." He huffed. "You really think this makes you look strong? You look scared. Like some control freak in the woods hiding from the world." I could hear it in his tone. He wasn't mad I set the line. He was mad I made it public. That I'd taken away his favorite tool. The audience. Then the shift came. I heard it in his voice. Slower, louder. That fake casual tone he used whenever he was recording. "Just admit it, man," he said. "You're jealous. I'm out here living. You're sitting on a paint bucket in a shack." I hung up. No goodbye. No explanation. Just one click and silence. Let him perform for the dial tone. It happened on a Tuesday morning. I was halfway through staining the kitchen shelves when my phone buzzed with a ring alert. Motion detected, front porch. I checked the app and froze. Tyler was at the cabin. Filming. Live. He was outside my front door. Phone pointed at his face. Already mid-rant. "Guess who's here, y'all? Big Bro's off-grid hideout. Let me in, landlord." Then he started pounding on the door. Loud, stupid knock 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 like this was some prank video. He turned the camera toward the porch and said, "This is the part where the reclusive sibling opens up and we cry it out over instant ramen. Right, Jake?" I didn't move. He tried the handle. It was locked. Then he cupped his hands around the window like he was peeking into a zoo exhibit. "Come on, man. You can't stay mad forever. Let's talk." I muted the audio and just watched. He circled the porch, narrating like it was an episode of a house tour. "Peep this rustic chic. Budget decor at its finest. Look, a real paint bucket. High design, folks." I sent one text. Me, no filming. Not a good time. He didn't respond. Just kept the stream going, switching between fake laughs and passive-aggressive whining. I sat on the floor, hands tight around my phone, trying to stay calm. The guy who wouldn't stop mocking me had now driven 2 hours into the woods to ambush me on camera. And for what? Views? A reaction? He finally left after 20 minutes of fake apologies and cheap insults. He signed off the live stream with a sarcastic, "Guess he's still mad. Drop a comment if you think I should camp out next time." I called a lawyer the next day. I didn't want to sue him. I didn't want to bankrupt him. I just wanted space. We drafted a formal no-contact notice. Clear terms. No visits, no filming, no use of my name or likeness in content, and absolutely no entry onto my property without written permission. I emailed it, certified mailed it, made it real. Then I shut off my phone for a while. A few days later, Mom showed up. She didn't text first, just knocked, soft and familiar. I looked through the peephole, then opened the door. She stood there with a foil-covered casserole dish and a grocery bag full of folded dish towels. "I figured you didn't have much for the kitchen yet," she said. I stepped aside to let her in. The place still smelled like wood and cardboard. No couch, no curtains, just me, a few chairs and silence. She set the casserole on the counter and walked around slow, touching the walls like they were made of gold. "You really did it," she said. I nodded. "Took long enough." She wandered into the hallway and clapped once. The sound bounced hard off the bare walls. She smiled. "It echoes." I looked at her, then at the empty living room. "It'll fill." She didn't say much after that. Just unpacked the dish towels and wiped the already clean counters like it gave her something to do. I offered her tea. We sat on mismatched chairs and drank it quiet, no phone in sight. I didn't bring up Tyler. Neither did she. But when she left, she gave my arm a squeeze and said, "You were right to draw the line. I just wish it hadn't come to this." I didn't answer. I didn't have to, because the line was drawn and it was holding. No chaos, no camera, just a cabin, a casserole, and quiet. 3 days after Mom's visit, I got one more text from Tyler. "Tyler, short term? We'll be quiet. Cabin content would kill. No apology. No self-awareness. Just another pitch like this was a business meeting and not the fallout of him blowing up my life on the internet." I stared at the screen, thumb hovering. Then I typed, "Me, I wish you well. I am not your housing plan." A minute passed. Then came the reply, "Tyler, wow, that was it. Nothing else." And just like that, he went quiet. No follow-up calls. No porch pop-ins. No more live stream ambushes or cabin hashtags. His channel stayed active, but I noticed the shift. Less family drama Fridays. More stage stunts and quick-cut edits. He filmed himself riding a kiddie tricycle down a hill. Faked a proposal at a Starbucks. Tried to prank a GameStop manager and got kicked out. The algorithm seemed to like it. His views stayed up. But I was gone from the script. And God, it felt good. I spent the next few weeks building furniture by hand. A bookshelf, a coffee table, a bench for the porch. Nothing fancy, just solid. Mine. Each board cut with purpose. Every screw placed with intention. No one watching, no comments flying in, no fake applause. Just work. Quiet, honest work. No begging. No guilt. Just living. One night, I was sanding down the edges of a nightstand when the phone rang. "Mom, Tyler says he's looking into suing," she said. "Something about emotional rent." I paused, brush in hand. "What?" "He claims he was emotionally invested in the cabin, and now you owe him damages for cutting him out." I let out a short laugh. "That's not real." She laughed too. Soft, tired. I figured. Just thought you should know. I leaned back, looked at the half-finished piece of furniture in front of me. "He's gonna be mad either way. Might as well be mad from a distance." "I'm proud of you," she said quietly. I nodded, even though she couldn't see it. "Thanks." After we hung up, I went back to sanding. The dust collected on my sleeves, on the floor, in the corners of the room where no one else had stepped yet. The house was still pretty empty, just the basics. But it didn't feel hollow anymore. Felt steady. The nightstand came out a little crooked, but I kept it anyway. It held my coffee just fine. I wasn't trying to impress anyone anymore. No tours, no before and after reels. Just real stuff built slow and solid. One piece at a time. I stopped checking Tyler's feed. Whatever shade he threw, I let it pass. I didn't owe him a reaction. He could be mad, loud, petty. That was his lane. I wasn't driving in it anymore. I didn't block him, though. I didn't need to. Distance didn't need to be dramatic to be permanent. People still asked about the cabin sometimes. Friends, coworkers, old neighbors who saw the mess online. I didn't go into it. I just show them a photo on my phone of this one dumb rock I tripped over my first week out here. Left a bruise the size of a grapefruit. Made me laugh every time I saw it. That's what I'd talk about. Not the drama. Not the fight. Just the place itself. I kept a guest form in a drawer by the front door. Not because I expected company, but because I wanted the option to exist. For the right people. The ones who knocked first. There was a line in my budget, too. Marked, Mom visits. Gas money, groceries, new towels if she wanted to redecorate again. She hadn't asked for anything, but I liked knowing I could offer it before she ever had to. The fridge stayed stocked. The firewood was cut. My porch light worked off a switch I wired myself. Nobody was using me. Nobody was filming me. Nobody was calling at midnight with some new disaster I had to clean up. I woke up early not because I had to, but because I wanted to. This morning I sat on the porch with hot coffee and a blanket, watching the fog settle between the trees. No music, no notifications, just birds, a light breeze, and the sound of no one needing anything from me. That's what peace felt like. Not empty, just uncluttered. And finally, mine.